thanks for joining us, everyone, with Dan James ahead of Cymru's World Cup qualifiers. Who would like to start us off? Geraint, yeah, go for it.
Dan, it's nice to see you. I know it's been probably frustrating. Listen, I'll talk about sort of your injury frustrations in a moment, but can I just ask about, obviously, Ben having to withdraw? I don't think it's a huge surprise because it was a nasty little hamstring injury you picked up. But just kind of, I know you're looking forward to the games of positivity, but what a loss, because he's been a colossus. He's been the captain, senior player. He's been there throughout the World Cup qualifying campaign. I just sort of kind of what you're losing, just unfortunately, for these final two games.
Yeah, of course we can't deny it's obviously a big loss. He's a captain, leader on and off the pitch, and he's also a big voice for us in the change room. But we've got obviously a great group of boys. I'm sure Ben will be around the place as well. So. Yeah, as I said, he's obviously a massive loss for us, but we've got to, keep our heads high, and and we've got a lot of other leaders in the dressing room, and we've got to drive that.
Just on yourself, probably frustration. Your season so far doesn't say the half of it. Just how's it been for you? What's it like as a player when I think the ankle injury you just had was a little niggly, nasty one. Just how are you, and just. How difficult is it when you have a stop-start season?
Yeah, obviously it's difficult. I think, I only ended up missing one game, so it wasn't too bad. I expected to be out a lot longer. And then fortunately, I recovered quite a lot quicker than, me and, the physio department thought. So, in that fact, it was really good. I was just gutted, obviously, to miss the last camp, with the boys. So, yeah, it is frustrating, but that's part of football, and you've just got to do everything you can to get back on the pitch. And it is frustrating when you can't influence, you can't come away, and do what you want to do. And I'm just happy that I'm here, fit and healthy, and ready to go.
That you are fit and healthy, the most important things. How important is for you for your club form, making sure that the manager doesn't bring you off the bench, he's starting with you, but also then that when you play for Wales as well, because you are an integral part of how Wales attack and how they play.
Yeah, definitely. I think whether you're playing or not, you have to be ready, keep yourself fit. I've been working very hard with that. There's been times over the years when I haven't played for a full season, and I've been in and out of the team the full season, and I've come to Wales, raring to go and to be as fit as possible. Obviously, minutes do matter. It's not always just fitness levels, but it's that football fitness and game fitness, not just physically but also mentally. But I feel in a really good place at the minute, and as I said, I was gutted to miss last camp, so I've done everything to put myself in a good condition coming to this one.
And in terms of, you mentioned their minutes on getting the football fitness, you're happy you're getting, the opportunities that you want. The fans love you. The fans want you on. They didn't want you coming on for the last 15. They wanted you starting the other day. Are you getting enough minutes so that you can be, for club and country, the best player you can be?
Yeah, definitely. I think, I'm just working as hard as I can. I'm putting everything into training so that I'm obviously ready to come away here, but also be ready to come on the pitch if I'm not starting. As I said, it's been a little stop-start. I missed, kind of 2 weeks of football, and I've got to, always be ready to whether I'm starting. It's the manager's decision at the end of the day, and I always see myself as a team player. I think sometimes you've got to be a little bit, selfish, but I do see myself as a team player, and I'm ready to help the team, whether it's to start or to come off the bench, and always be ready for that. But definitely this camp was in the back of my mind to work really hard, whether I was in or out the team, to be ready, and as I said, mentally as well, ready to come away and make a difference.
David was just talking to us about a team meeting yesterday, just 2 wins. And that's the path we want, that home semi-final. I just think sort of how does that help players when I know it's the obvious thing, but when you sit down, you talk about it, and you want that end goal of next Tuesday night having a win against Liechtenstein and a win against North Macedonia, and then next March it's a home semi-final, probably against lower ranked opposition as well. How do you sit down and focus about that, and how helpful is a meeting like that to, again, point out probably what is obvious to you?
Yeah, I think I think everyone's asked me, you're looking at the group, but I think for us, we don't look past the next game. We're going to have a tough test on Saturday. I think we've got a lot of fans going out there, which will really help us. But there's no easy pathway to the World Cup. We know that, and I think the next two games are so important, and it's a path for us, and we want to show what we can do as a team. But yeah, I know there's a lot of talk of the Tuesday game, but we've got to play Saturday. It's going to be a tough test, and we have to go into that game just like every other game, believing that we can win.
Yeah, Dan, just on Liechtenstein, I don't know, is it the word irritates? That sounds disrespectful to Liechtenstein. I don't mean it that way. Because of their world ranking, and they're playing a side like you who are a top 25 team, how challenging is it actually to get behind 11 players and actually try and get in front, get a game plan going that sees you, that you can dictate the game? Because we've seen it with so many teams going to these small teams. It is unbelievably frustrating. How do you overcome that?
Yeah, I think I think there's obviously that expectation, but we know it's going to be a tough game. We're just doing what we do when we come away. We work on things. We look at games that we've recently played and what we can do better. How can we control the game? How can we get more chances? But it's about going to the very end and just keep believing in our processes. And that's where we'll be on Saturday. And the head focus is, as I said, there's a lot of spoken from outside about Tuesday's game, but this game on Saturday is so important, and it's one we'll go into believing that we can win, not expecting that we can win. We know it's going to be a tough test, but we have to be ready for it. Thank you.
Hey Dan, what's the atmosphere been like in the camp? Because obviously the last window, I know you weren't here, but it was a tough couple of results, and especially when expectations going into Belgium, you wanted to take the game to them, taking the lead and that sort of thing. What's been the atmosphere coming into camp this time?
Yeah, I think it's obviously a month on. Unfortunately I wasn't a part of it, but it's we played against two incredible teams. We went toe to toe with Belgium, and we had two great games with them, and unfortunately we were on the losing side to both of them. As the manager said, it's the games that we want to play in. But yeah, I think the atmosphere is good. We've just got to look at them games and look what we can do better now, and take them into the next two.
Obviously, with without Ben, you need a captain for Saturday. Is Ethan Ampadu the man to kind of step up? A little smile on your face there for Ethan, and you know what he's like behind the scenes. Is he the next sort of Wales captain off the line, if you like?
I'm not sure. I think he's obviously been incredible captain for us, for Leeds United. I think a lot of people forget, how young Ethan is. I think he's been around so long. But he's still young, but he's a great leader on and off the pitch, and he suits that role really well. Obviously, it's not my choice, but as I said, he's done incredible for Leeds, and it's definitely a role that he can step up to.
Yeah, because I see a lot of similarities between him and Ben in terms of kind of the vocalness on the pitch. You said it comes across as that, and perhaps the vocalness off the pitch as well.
Yeah, definitely, and I think, as I said, he's been captain for Leeds for 2 or 3 years now. I think he would suit that role perfectly, because it's not like a new role for him. He understands the roles and the responsibilities from it, so it's not like it's any added pressure to him, because he's quite used to it.
And then for the likes of yourself as well, I mean, the amount of caps you've got, you're one of the seniors now. Dan, we can't look at you as a youngster anymore, can we?
No, it's really strange, because I still see myself as a 20-year-old. When I made my debut, against Slovakia, I was speaking to one of the boys about the other day, and that was 8 years ago. International football goes so quick, and you don't really feel like that senior player until kind of someone tells you, and it's kind of taking that experience into each and every game.
was Dylan Lawlor and Kpakio. I think they were at primary school then when you made your debut, weren't they?
I think so, yeah, and it's it's crazy. I think everything just goes so quick, and you just got to make the most of every moment you play in the shirt.
Does it freshen the squad up having those youngsters in there? It must give it a different dynamic.
Yeah, it's great. I think the pathway for them is brilliant. It's been great since, ever since I was young to come through, and the facilities are getting better and better, and the pathways, and as the manager speaks all the time, you have to give these youngsters chances, and that's what he does. And if they're ready, they're ready. And it's a great pathway, and I'm sure a lot more will come through.
Hi Dan. Just wanted to ask about Aaron Ramsey. He's been with the squad today. We saw him on the training pitch. What's it like having him back?
Yeah, it's great. He's a great character, a great player, and he's one that you can learn off. What he's done in his career is absolutely incredible. But to have him around, even if he's not in the squad, and to have them words with him off the pitch, to little details is great for us.
Especially when you're missing Ben, perhaps for this camp, someone of his experience, captain of Wales as well. How much are those words going to help ahead of Saturday and next Tuesday?
Yeah, definitely. I think any words from him is always good. He's helping us out a lot, and we're happy to have him for this camp.
North Macedonia, I know you've got one game at a time, but they're a team that have surprised people, I think, unbeaten so far in this campaign. What makes you think that Wales can change that on Tuesday? Yeah,
as I said, it's hard to speak about that game, but for them as a team, they're incredibly solid. I think they've been great throughout the campaign, and I think us scoring last minute there was a vital point for us. Didn't seem at the start, but it definitely does now, and it's hard for me to speak to past Saturday. I don't really want to, but yeah, they've been a great team, and incredibly solid, and it's a team that's going to be hard to break down.
And last one from me, BBC are doing something today called Football Reinvented. We're asking players, pundits, if you could change one rule in football, what would yours be? So whether that's how they use VAR, the handball rule, offside rule, what would you choose?
It's a tough one, isn't it? Don't want to be controversial.
We won't tell anyone. It's
yeah, I think one of the rules the other day, the 30 going off for 30 seconds and coming back on. I seen one the other day where they got brought back on. He tackled him from behind. It's a tough one because you don't want people to go down and not have to go off the pitch, but if it's not a yellow card, you have to go off the pitch. But someone could be challenged and not be a yellow card and it still be have hurt them. So they've got to bring the physios on. It's a tough one. I understand why they do it because they want the game to play more, and I know fans have said that they don't want any more stop starts, and it's tough. So yeah, but the 6 second rules one is obviously a tough one with the keeper. I understand it, but I do think it should be pushed back a little bit more to more like 10 seconds, especially when you're under it a bit last 5 minutes and the keeper just has to boot it out from you can't even get into shape or anything, which is tough. So yeah, that's a tough one. I would say I understand it again, but maybe it should be pushed back to more than 6 seconds.
You've got a lot of ideas about the game.
Yeah, maybe too many. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Brilliant. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
So are you wearing a new kit on Saturday?
Yes, I think so.
Either Saturday or Tuesday.
How do you feel about the new kit? Have you sort of tried it on and given it a go yet? Have you got the new training tops on?
Yeah, new training tops. Yeah, the kit's really nice. I'm sure you'll see it in the next 2 games. But yeah, it's really nice fit. I'm sure the fans will love it as well. Thank you.
Thanks.
Look good running out at the World Cup, innit?
Hopefully, yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers,
Thank you.